Hi friends, and welcome back to the day before. Today we're going to talk about Mel Robbins' free program called Take Control. I have given you guys my honest review about one of her previous free programs called The Reset. In that review, I told you that I really liked her reset, and I learned a lot about myself in that free program. In general, I like Mel Robbins. I have both of her books now, which I have not read yet because I have not had time, but I'm going to, along with some other books that I'm going to be reading for my YouTube channel. So, I look forward to that. I look forward to sharing the information with you. And if you want to hear about those books, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss that. Some of the things that I learned in the reset that I find valuable still is that the first 30 minutes of my day are for me, not anyone else. I'm not going to pick up my phone and check it. I'm not going to do anything like that. In fact, I'm going to get up before everyone else in my household to make sure that the first 30 minutes of the day are for myself and no one else. Some other things that I learned in that reset, and I still find it helpful, and it has enriched my life, honestly, are that, we evaluate, are we taking care of our health and wellness? Are we taking care of our career? Are we taking care of our, love relationships, our friendships, our, relationships with our children? Are we taking care of all this stuff? But we don't ask ourselves, are we making time for fun and happiness? And that's kind of obvious, isn't it? So I also found that very valuable. And there were some other valuable things in that program, and I still recommend it. I'll leave a link in the description. But I wanted to take Mel Robbins' free program, Take Control, and I honestly wanted to tell you guys about it earlier, but I'm busy and I just didn't have time. But it comes with a little booklet that you can print out for yourself, and you fill it out. So in the first part of the workbook, it says, "Thank you for joining me and taking the first step toward taking control of your life. I'm thrilled to have you here, and I can't wait to see what you will achieve." And it goes on. It just says to, how to start the program, to print the workbook, and complete the first exercise before watching the training. There's just 2 questions to answer before the first video. Then you watch the video. After you watch the first video, go ahead and fill out training 1. And in the first training, she talks about one of her favorite tools called the fuel gauge. She also talks about this in her other free training program called the Reset. It is a very valuable tool, and it goes a little bit deeper in this training program. I really like that. However, some of the categories that are broken down don't apply to my life. They would apply to others. That's a pretty extensive part of the process in this program, is filling out all the fuel gauges for each area of life that is listed here. Be ready to take some time to fill that out. And then in the additional note, there is just so much stuff that I could tell you about, but I also would like to see people take the training, because in this honest review that I'm giving you right now, I'm telling you that this is some valuable stuff. So if you've done her reset, you may be like, well, this is all stuff that, I've seen this all before, Mel. Where's the new stuff? For one, it does break it down into other areas. So instead of, more generalized, bigger picture areas of life you're using the full fuel gauge on in the reset, you're kind of zoning in this Take Control program. But not only that, there is some new stuff coming up. So you watch the training first on training 2. And training 2, Mel talks about something called blue water. I found that very helpful. And I think anyone would. The idea of blue water. If you take the training program, as I'm recommending, remember that phrase. And when you come across it, really pay attention and zone in on that. In the workbook, it asks what my version of the blue water is and stuff like that. And then there is a set of questions that you answer. And when you tally up your answers, you find out if you are, it's called a box jumper or a path layer. I ended up being a box jumper. So that was really interesting, and that is something that was key in this training program, I feel like, and something that I loved learning about myself. In training number 3, there are something called box jumpers, which I ended up being, and then box steppers, which was formerly in training 2 called path layers. Okay, it goes deeper into, things you can do if you are a box jumper or a box stepper. There is one question that I answered here, and it says, who or what are you jealous of? And I put women who had good fathers as little girls. When I was going over this part, it kind of like confused me. I was like, but when putting it together with the video, people who you are jealous of are just people who, you see out in the world who have something that you want. So like, women who had good fathers as little girls, they're extremely confident. They are people like Evie Pomporis. That's one of the people that I was thinking about when answering that question. I am jealous of her. She is the first female Secret Service agent for the United States. And I think that is very admirable. In her book, she talks about her father and stories with him. And, what I can take away from that is things I want is things like confidence, and taking risks for what I want and things of that nature. Standing up for myself always. As, if I had a good father, he would have taught me to do. For both box steppers and box jumpers, they want you to write down 5 things that you want. And that's something that Mel Robbins has talked about before. One of the things that she has suggested before is to write down 5 things that you want every morning whenever you wake up. And I think that's a wonderful idea. Eventually, you're going to come across the things that you really want in life, and don't let yourself limit, your thinking. Write down 5 things that you really would want. If it's like a harem of women, write it down. If it's like billions of dollars, write it down and dream big. Every morning, write down the 5 things that you want the most as soon as you wake up in a journal and see what happens. It could be a really amazing thing for you. But for me, I am a box jumper. And what I have is something called a process gap. And in the training, it goes more into that. So the 5 things I want, I was supposed to pick one thing. And the thing I picked was to get, my house clean and tidy for real. Because, I'll start on that process of spring cleaning. And I'm a person who will get distracted by all the other tasks I have in life. So that was it. My first goal that I wanted to focus on was to get my house clean. And I have been working on that. But the 5 tiny actions that could help me toward that dream of mine, the first one was to get all the dishes done. And honestly, I still have not even done that. I've done the dishes, don't get me wrong, and my husband's done the dishes sometimes, things of that nature. But no, there has not been one time since I've done this since all the dishes have been done at once, which was my first goal. Because the next one was to declutter the kitchen, and to declutter the kitchen I need everything in there clean, right? Here are my first 5 tiny actions, because I will let you guys help me be accountable. Here is the deal. On Monday, I'm going to post the video of my kitchen sink totally clean with no dishes in it. Is that a deal? That was my first tiny action, to get all the dishes done. The second is to declutter the kitchen. The third is also pretty impossible, and ladies, tell me I'm wrong, is to get all the laundry in the house done. And then I'm going to declutter clothes. That's my fourth step. My fifth step is to set up a cleaning and decluttering system for, the rest of everything else. And part of that would, obviously be a load of laundry a day and the dishes being done every day. Yeah, help me be accountable. I will post a video on Monday. That's great. I really love I did that to myself just now. Yeah, so that's it, you guys. My honest review, this is very helpful. It was key for me to learn that I am a box jumper. And whenever I was going through the training and, I learned that about myself, I was like, wow, that is pretty amazing, very helpful, and honestly it just really did give me some keys to moving forward. I know I told you that still the dishes all haven't been done all at once, but I have done a lot to get my house together. I really do. I highly recommend signing up for Mel Robbins Take Control. I will leave a link in the description and also a link in the description for the reset if you want to try that out. If you do want to try the reset out and take control, I recommend doing the reset first because take control would build upon that. But, other than that, I recommend this. I love Mel Robbins. I think she's a wonderful person to gain insight from if that is something you feel that you need. If you feel like maybe you're a little directionless, you want to make a change but you're not sure where to start, things of that nature, just subscribe to her YouTube channel while you're subscribing to my YouTube channel. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up. I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye bye.